The quickest way to change your beliefs about money is to run towards your emotional discomfort about money. What type of person do you need to become in order to attract that, in order to take the action required to attract that? Attention, women in business. If I asked you this question, would you have an answer? Do you feel confident knowing how to grow your business while also feeling more alive and energized? If you answered no and your business is generating a minimum of $50,000 a year, I have a limited time opportunity you'll regret missing. It's called the Revenue Breakthrough Challenge, and it's for women who are done feeling stuck in their business and ready to attract more money in a short amount of time. And guess what? It's only $197. But here's the catch. There are strings attached. It's by application only, and you have until June 17th to apply. All the details are found at Heather Chauvin, that's CHAUVIN.com/money. heatherchauvin.com/money. So why am I even doing this and guaranteeing results, or I'll give you your money back? Because I think we have a unique challenges while raising children and growing our businesses. And I believe that when you achieve a quick money win, you're going to gain more confidence in yourself, knowing that your dreams are possible and that you can do both successfully. It's my job to challenge you and to show you how to make your dreams a reality, all while being the mother you desire to be. So like I said, if you are a woman in business and your business is generating at minimum $50,000 a year, head on over to heatherchauvin.com/money. I am literally doing this because I want to help women make more, feel more, so that they can give back and make a bigger impact in the world. heatherchauvin.com/money. You have until June 17th to apply. Now let's dive into today's episode. The quickest way to change your beliefs about money and how this will also benefit your parenting. All right, ladies, we're going to dive in. And for those of you who are watching the video, you can see a sign behind me. It's a really, I got a new neon sign in my office and it says Emotionally Uncomfortable, name of the podcast. And I'm wearing a hat that says, Go fast and don't die. And I think this is hilarious because this is it. These are the secrets. Everyone is like searching for the secret of how to, live your best life, create freedom and all the things. And I'm all about getting emotionally uncomfortable, which is not just about, feeling your feelings, but it's knowing that like change is emotionally uncomfortable. It's also emotionally uncomfortable to achieve your goals. It's emotionally uncomfortable to feel free. How do we manage that energy and that emotional expectation when other people, maybe are not where we are, and our guilt and our overwhelm, and how do we handle fear? And the whole concept of going fast and don't die, what it says on my hat, is it's not about go fast and don't die physically. I actually think that's where this hat is from, because it was from like a motorcycle brand, but I really liked it. And the way that I actually visualized this was take quick action and don't die. And the part of not dying, and if you are familiar with my story of dying to be a good mother and my stage 4 cancer diagnosis, is don't die. Don't let your dreams die. Don't let your mind die, like your emotional body. Don't let your spiritual life die, and don't allow your physical body to die. The Our life is full of symptoms of what is not working in our lives. And when we take quick action, get emotionally uncomfortable and start, thinking less, trusting ourselves more and implementing, that is where you learn as you do, right? So I learn, I test things. I'm like, okay, that felt good. Nope, it didn't feel good. And so when you're developing these skills, that's where the magic happens. So today we're talking about the quickest way to change your beliefs about money and how this will also benefit your parenting. So I want to share a metaphor with you, and I want you to visualize this. I want you to feel it. The sun. We all know what the sun is, right? And it does its thing. It rises and then it sets. It rises and it sets. It's very consistent. I bet you probably have a pretty strong belief that the sun is going to rise tomorrow. You probably have, with certainty, a really strong belief that the sun is going to rise tomorrow. Your belief in predicting the weather tomorrow may not be as strong. You might not be as confident with that, right? Why? Because the sun has been consistent since the day I was born. It's never in this lifetime. After 2020, I'm not throwing anything out the window, but since the day I was born, in every day of my human experience, the sun has been rock solid in its consistent effort. It has never wavered or shown me, allowed me to misguide. It hasn't misguided me. Every day it's routine. It's like up, down, up, down. So my belief in the sun is pretty strong that it's going to rise. But my belief in the weather is not, right? We look at the forecast, we wake up, we're like, it's supposed to rain today. It's wildly sunny. It's supposed to be summer. Why is it snowing? It's unpredictable. It's like the water, the waves, right? You're just like, woo, the sea is very mad today. So I want you to think about this. If you have a strong ass belief that the sun is going to rise tomorrow, you actually rotate your life around that because it is so certain to you. How strongly you believe in the sun rising every day, that is the certainty that you need to hold and step up and into in order to hit your revenue goal. Okay. So what I mean by that is oftentimes we have shitty ass beliefs and stories that we tell ourselves about money. And I've been talking a lot about money because we have our emotionally uncomfortable revenue breakthrough. You can check that out at heatherchauvin.com/money. And you have until June 17th to apply. So for the next few weeks, you're going to hear me talking about money. But here's the interesting part about money and why I'm starting to talk about it more. One, I've been making more money, and not just in my business, in investments and other wealth strategies as well. And it's blowing my mind how learning to feel good and attract more energy into my life, like physical energy, mental energy, emotional energy, spiritual energy, how to attract more energy in my life has directly correlated with wealth strategy. So there's a correlation between time, money, and energy. And that's really what I'm diving into. And the interesting part is a lot of times people come to me because sometimes it's about relationships, and parenting is one of those because that's a huge passion of mine. As a former social worker who worked a lot with children and child development. And I just love and really the conscious parenting piece, because that's a whole other podcast, and I'll keep talking about that stuff because that stuff trickles into every area of your life as well. But what I noticed is being able to receive and understanding the belief systems and how we get in our own way, when we have that capacity for more time, more energy, more money, we show up completely different in our lives. And when you show up completely different in your life, guess what happens? Your relationships change. And so it's not just about having more money so that you can, buy your children more things or more experiences. It's who did I need to become? How did I need to lead my life in order to be able to receive more? Okay. And again, this isn't about like jacking your price up. This is about how did I need to lead? I am such a huge advocate for role modeling. I just firmly believe in practicing what you preach. And I also, this is why I say to people, and for our revenue breakthrough, I'm like, if you don't get results, I'll give you your money back. Because if you're doing the work, results are inevitable. Success is inevitable. So here's another perspective. Let's talk about success. So I had a client and she was selling a really interesting, unique experience. She used to be, she's into coaching, and she has previously done, retreat experiences, but she's very adventure based. And she loves getting people into the experience. So it's not just about like a spiritual retreat. It's like getting in there, like in the nature, in the elements. And we all know, if you are like an active adventure person, and I would say I'm an amateur, but it's something I'm passionate about, then what happens is when you're in it, you can't run away from your emotional shit. So like you have to go through it. You don't get the option of backing out, of having excuses. It's like when you're running a race and you are at a certain mile, you're like, the only way out is through. I either turn around and I have to go back the same way, like I have to run out or I have to run forward. So you might as well run forward. So that's why I love physical exercise, right? It's just like doing reps in the gym. You're like, the physical body is growing. You're getting emotionally uncomfortable. You have to do those reps, and you have like a few more reps and you're like, I don't want to do this. So you either put down the weight and get comfortable, or you lean into the discomfort and challenge yourself. And so she was selling, this really cool experience. And there was a positioning of like, okay, who is this for? Like getting super clear. So write this down, getting super clear on what are the like psychological factors of your person. So she was repositioning, who exactly it was for. It wasn't for everybody. There was a certain person that was seeking certain clarity, and that's who it was for. Where are your people? So we did the positioning of the program, of the package. We priced it. This is another thing where people are like, well, I want to make it affordable for people. And I'm like, I just want to be honest with you. Nothing is ever going to be affordable for people. And it really has nothing to do with the money. And I'm not talking about like, can everybody afford it? I mean, $1,000, let's say you're like, oh, this should be a $5,000 product. So I'm only going to charge $1,000 because I want to make it affordable. And I'm using air quotes. $1,000 for a lot of people is still a lot of money. So please understand that you think you're making something affordable, and that is still too far out of someone's price range. So when it comes to the quickest way to change your beliefs about money, you need to understand this. If you have this sense of more than enough, you are going to be able to be present for your experience. I don't know about you, but over time, I have been disappointed again and again when I go on Airbnb and I'm like, okay, I just want a quick getaway. So I find the cheapest hotel or the cheapest Airbnb, and I get there and I have like the shittiest experience because it was cheap and I got what I paid for. There was like so many things wrong, and I was angry and resentful. And the reason why I was angry and resentful wasn't because I couldn't afford to pay more. It's because I didn't necessarily, like, my expectations versus reality were off. I wanted to get away, and I was saying, oh, I need to be cheap about it. I wasn't actually allowing myself to fully step up and into the energy and the experience that I wanted. So I almost sabotaged my night away by picking the cheap version versus like $50 or $100 more, maybe even $200 more, so that I could go and feel like supported and like I was having the type of experience that I was seeking, the type of feelings. And so when you're positioning your offers like that, it's the same thing. Or when you're positioning your business, or when you're showing up in this space of like more than enough, more than enough. But when you're trying to please other people, you have this belief that like, I need to overcompensate. And when you believe you need to overcompensate, you're giving more than you're receiving energetically. You're giving more than you're receiving. So why don't you think you would be energetically exhausted? So why don't you think you wouldn't be energetically exhausted if you're giving more than receiving? And then what happens is you overgive, which means you don't charge the value that you're delivering. And because you do that, you attract these people who have no issue, absolutely no issue taking from people. And people who have no issue disrespecting value from other people. And people who might not even understand this, that's just their pattern. So if you want to work with people who value, if they value value, then you have to start valuing yourself. You have to start valuing your time and your energy. And when you start to value your time and your energy, you can be a more present mother. You can be a more present partner. And when you're a more present partner, a more present mother, that obviously supports you personally, but professionally it does as well, because you have more time and energy to focus on the bigger vision, to relax and recharge, and to give that value and over deliver on that value because you have built that in. So when I was working with this client, she's selling this amazing experience, we positioned it well, and then she has to start selling it. So she rolls out her marketing strategy, which I supported her with too. And then she was getting leads. And this is where the magic happens. So the leads were coming in, and these are people who are interested. Like, I'm not kidding when I say this. They have literally been praying for her. Okay. These people were struggling. They're like, I just need somebody to help me solve this problem, seeking this specific clarity in my life. And she shows up and she's like, hey, that's the exact problem that I solve. And these people are like, oh my gosh, thank you, thank you, thank you. So they get to this conversation, and guess what happens? Their objections start to come out. Oh my gosh, that's a lot of money. Time. I don't know if I can take the time off of work, create the space, leave my family. Oh, my partner really needs this. My partner needs this more than I do. What do you think is happening there? I want you to observe those beliefs, right? Again, the topic, the quickest way to change your beliefs about money and how they benefit your parenting. So I want you to go back to that. So the quickest way, one, is to value what you're actually putting out there in the world and position it that way, so that when you do attract these people and their objections happen, you have to understand, is this a real objection for this person? Or is this an emotional objection? And most people, right? So the quickest way to do that is to value yourself, to value your product or service, to value your time, to value your energy. Because once you get all the way to the end, what's going to happen is you have to understand emotions. If you don't understand human behavior, you're going to react to it. And when you react to it, what do? You typically shrink. So when I was working with my client, I said, okay, what comes up for you when they give you the money objection? She's like, well, all my money beliefs come up and I get really uncomfortable and I just give them a discount, or I say, okay, no problem. Let me know when you're ready. And I said, lean in, lean in. The quickest way to change your money belief is to lean in to your emotional discomfort. So you're leaning into it and going, tell me more about that. Tell me more. What's coming up for you? You're saying this to the lead. What's coming up for you when you think about spending this much money on yourself? And they're going to tell you. Okay, what comes up for you when you think about having this conversation with your partner or taking the time off? This is you having to take radical responsibility for how you want to feel in your life. If you are in any field, you can own a business, you can work for somebody else, and you create a transformational result for people, please understand it's typically service-based industries, and they could be traditional or non-traditional. Understand you are going to make people emotionally uncomfortable. You are going to make people emotionally uncomfortable. They will project their shit onto you. You will never be able to satisfy people. So if you have beliefs that you have not yet healed that are from your childhood and you're a people pleaser, you will please everybody and you will be fucking exhausted, and it will burn you out. If you are a perfectionist, you will try to perfect everything before you even put yourself out there and will feel like, look, it's so hard. It's not hard. You won't let go of being a perfectionist. You won't let things be messy. You won't just try. And if you are incapable or unable, not incapable, I don't believe that. If you are unable to and unwilling to learn the emotionally uncomfortable skill of holding space for somebody while they're experiencing their big emotions, you will not be able to increase your price and know how to handle those objections. And you will always feel undervalued. If you are incapable and unwilling to learn the skill of holding the space for big emotions, doesn't that sound familiar? Isn't that what I say all the time when you're dealing with a child's tantrum? Holding space for somebody else's big emotions. The quickest way to change your beliefs about money is to run towards your emotional discomfort about money. What type of person do you need to become in order to attract that, in order to take the action required to attract that? Right? So the go fast part of my hat is to realign, refocus your energy and attention and become the type of person. If I was that type of person who wasn't a perfectionist, if I was the type of person who could hold emotionally uncomfortable space for people, if I was the type of person who did the thing I really want to do in my business, what would that look like? How would I show up differently than I am now? Write it out and then start taking the action. What type of action would this person, this version of me take? Write down the list of all of the actions and start checking them off. That's the to-do list that you should be checking off. Check, 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 check. So the quickest way to change your belief about money and how this is going to benefit your parenting is to run towards your money beliefs, to pay attention to them. What do you believe about money? How do you show up when you believe that way? And then reverse engineer it. Okay, cool. Well, maybe right now I still believe that, but if I didn't believe that and I believe that it was easy, how would I show up? Awesome. All right. I put out this free content for you to give you. I just want to see you thrive, and I want to see you live your best fucking life, because I truly believe when women have more time, more energy, and more money, they're going to change the world. You're going to show up differently as a parent. You're going to show up differently as a human. You're going to advocate for yourself more, your children. You're going to speak your truth. We are going to take courageous action. We're going to get, we're going to ask for what we want. We're going to put ourselves in position of power. We're going to say, hey, that doesn't work for me. And we're going to change the cultural conversation for women, those women that maybe are not yet born, those little girls that are watching us, and the woman standing next to you. And more importantly, the woman that doesn't even have an opportunity to speak her truth. Maybe she lives in another culture, a different demographic, and she's like, that's great, Heather, but I can't even do that. And I just believe that if you have the privilege and the opportunity, but you're scared, it is your responsibility to do it scared. So that is why I created the Emotionally Uncomfortable Revenue Breakthrough Challenge. It's 5 days. It's by application only. And all you have to do is go to Heather Chauvin, CHAUVIN.com/money. So it's $197. The only requirement is you have to be at minimum $50,000 in your business in a year. So when you apply, we read the applications, and then we reach out. If you are accepted, you register. And in those 5 days, that's why it's called Emotionally Uncomfortable Challenge. We're going to be emotionally uncomfortable together. We're going to take action. You even have a one-on-one success coach. So somebody on my team, somebody who's worked with me previously. So they're a graduate of my work, and I call them my emotional support people, because I care a lot about people. But I can't be everything to everybody. So they're the ones that are cheering you on, but also, what's coming up for you? Where do you need to focus your energy and attention? Because in those 5 days, we're doing the work. I'm not talking at you. We're doing the work together. So you can fill out the application until June 17th of 2022, the year that we are in. And as soon as you get registered, if you're accepted, you get immediate access to some modules, and you will hook up with your success coach. So you can actually start before the 5 days. And then the 5 days you get live coaching with me, and we're diving a little bit deeper. So this is about you doing the emotionally uncomfortable work to have your revenue breakthrough challenge. So head on over to heatherchauvin.com/money. And I so believe in you attracting more time, more energy, and more money into your life and your work. There it is. You just listened to the Emotionally Uncomfortable podcast. If you want to take this conversation to the next level, head on over to our private Facebook group community, heatherchauvin.com/Facebook. My last name is spelled CHAUVIN. That's heatherchauvin.com/Facebook. Also, if you are a huge fan of this show, please rate and review it on iTunes. Every review helps another woman like you take back control of how she wants to feel and become emotionally uncomfortable. I truly believe the better we feel, the more alive we become. This is how we are going to change the world. And if you've been watching me for a while, if you've been on the fence and you're curious, how can Heather help me? Head on over to heatherchauvin.com/work with me to check out my mastery and mastery business coaching programs. That's heatherchauvin.com/work with me.